Cold calling, picking up the phone and actually calling the prospect. It's the thing that everybody avoids doing. Everybody wants to organize their desk and fix their calendar and send this email and do that and set up the funnel and the whole thing. And when really, if you just want to get to the money, you need to pick up the phone and you need to call. And what I want to do is I want to give you 3 things that you need to avoid, 3 tips you need to avoid these things when cold calling if you want to have success. And there are different levels to this. Picking up the phone and calling random strangers that you have not strategically put on a list is not a good use of time. Picking up the phone and calling a list of strangers, or even a good list, but not knowing what to say is not a good use of time. Doing that exact same thing and not having a plan of what you're going to say and what strategy you're going to use is not a good use of time. But if you have those things dialed in, then it is a good use of time. And if you do it correctly, you can make it so it almost doesn't feel like cold calling. And this is coming from somebody who made a living for 4 years, knocking on doors, asking people for money with literally no information about who was on the other side of that door. Okay, and I have knocked on doors of strippers in Las Vegas, and I have knocked on doors of people that called the cops, and I knocked on in fact, I probably can't even say about this one guy's door I knocked on because I'll probably ban this video. Anyway, I've done the cold calling in all different facets, all different forms. These are my 3 tips. Tip number 1, do not tiptoe. Do not be timid when you call. If you call and you're, I've got this project and, we got a couple leads, and you act like an idiot, you act like you don't know what you're doing, you don't act confident, you are going to get hung up on, and the person is not going to trust you, okay? And I've said this in other videos, but when I was first introduced to this industry, I was taught some different methods of cold calling. And one of them was, call and pretend that you kind of don't know what's going on and you just have this job. Guys, people they see through that stuff. I don't understand how people think that works. The best success that I found, the way that I teach people in my program, the way that I do it, is I do not act like I'm confused at all. I don't tiptoe at all. I'm very bold. I'm very to the point. I am not, I don't know where this lead came from, to, hey, I have a website and I have a phone number, I have a lead, I have a job right now that I can give you. And by the way, I'm calling you to earn your business. This isn't a nonprofit call here. But we can talk about it in a couple days. Let me give you some of these leads first. Number 1 tip, do not tiptoe. Have a clear objective when you call. Tell them who you are. Tell them what you're doing. Let them know what the deal is and transition. Okay, those are the 4 steps I talked about in that in another video. Not going to go into it, but be to the point. Nobody likes the tiptoer. Okay, get in there, get it done, be direct, be bold, and get the deal done or not. Okay, there's no reason to drag a phone call out when you are calling for a very specific reason. Okay, so tip number 1, do not tiptoe. Tip number 2, freaking know the business owner's name. This is right now it's 2022, okay? We have all these tools. We have all these different social media platforms. We have all these different ways of finding out the business owner's name. And yet I still have heard people cold call and get a hold of the secretary or whatever, or the business owner. That's the worst part. Call and say, hey, is this the business owner? Hey, am I speaking to the business owner? Guys, if I ever hear that, I'm out. I'm not, you don't know my name? It's 2022. Okay, take a second, get the business owner's name. There's a big difference to calling the secretary, the receptionist, saying, hey, can I speak with the business owner? They already know that you don't even know the business owner's name. You're just going down a list, right? Compare that to, hey, pass me over to Jack real quick. This is Nick, by the way. Which one of those sounds more legit? Okay? Or if you're calling me and I'm Jack and you don't even know my name and I pick up the phone and you say, hey, is this the business owner? Boop, I'm out. Your boy's out, okay? So tip number 2, know the freaking business owner's name, okay? Tip number 3, last and final tip. Don't sound like everybody else, okay? What I need you guys to do is think about the last couple times you've been cold called. I'm sure that you've been cold called about a million different things. And what did they all sound like, okay? Don't do that. Do not do that. And I have heard, so think about it like this. If we're selling lead generation, by the way, this video, applies to all kind of cold calling. But if we're specifically talking of the context of lead generation and of what we do, think about what everybody else is saying out there. Okay, everybody else is calling the business owner and saying, "Hey, I can get you to page one. Hey, I can get you a bunch of leads. Hey," and they're just being like, it's very gimmicky, it's very cheesy, it's very, "Hey, give me your credit card and then I'll show you what to do." So, my tip is be freaking different. And one of the ways you can be different is by following step number one, which is being direct. Okay, everybody wants a tiptoe, and the other thing is everybody wants to go in with the handout. Okay. The way that I have found to have the best success, the best conversion from how many cold calls I have to make to how many people are interested in doing business with me is I go in looking to give them what they want first. Before we even talk about this, I let them know, yes, we are going to be talking about business. That's why I'm here. I'm not going to try and hit you with that on the last call. I'm going to let you know up front that I'm going to be asking you for money in a few days or whatever it is. But we don't need to talk about that until I have proved that you're not wasting your time even getting on the phone with me. So what I mean by that is when I call, I do not call in trying to promise. I say, "Hey, I don't even want to waste your time. However, Mr. Business Owner, Mrs. Business Owner, I know you're already paying for leads. I already saw it. I already saw you're paying for this, paying for that, whatever. I know you're interested in leads or you're allergic to money. You seem like you're not allergic to money. You're a smart guy, smart girl, right? Smart woman. So I want to give you this job. Her name's Jackie. She needs a 20 by 20 piece of slab of concrete or a 10 by 10 or a 5 by 20. By the way, this is a real actual job that I already have coming in. And I lead with that. Okay, I'm different because I'm literally getting into it. "Hey, is this so-and-so? Is this Jack? Awesome, Jack. Do you cover this zip code?" And he says, "Yes." "Cool." Or she says, "Yes." "Cool. I've got a job I want to hand you. Can I give it to you?" And at this point, they're going to go, "Who are you? Are you a contractor? Are you a customer? What are you?" No. I have a website and a phone number. I'm calling you because I need to give you this job. I have a bunch of these coming in. I have a website and a phone number. I'm here to earn your business. We're going to talk about that in a couple days. Let me give you a couple of these for free, and then let's talk. Are you okay with that? Okay? Guys, avoid these three things. Do the opposite, okay? Please, if you guys want to have success with cold calling. And by the way, lastly, if you guys are not cold calling and you're trying to do everything under the sun to avoid cold calling, good luck. Because while you're sitting there trying to figure out your email campaign and trying to figure out your little whatever and your funnel and all this different stuff, I've made 5 calls, I've made 20 calls, I've made 50 calls, I've gotten 5 more deals that are recurring deals that are paying me passively every single month while you're sitting there trying to figure out the tech. Now, do I believe that there's a thing called leverage? Yes, okay? But I also know that until you can get your bills paid for, until you have a certain amount of money coming in so that you have flow and you have money to pay those bills, you need to pick up the phone and you need to go get some deals. And I know because I have a script. I know because I have a list. I know because I'm going to the right city. I know because I'm talking to the right people and I have confidence and I'm not tiptoeing and I know the business owner's name and I'm being different, that if I call this list, I am going to have success. Avoid those 3 things that I mentioned, guys, and you will see a skyrocket in your numbers. I'm out.